Future millionaires, today I'd like to talk to you about retirement. Something that probably feels so far away it's hard to even fathom. When I was young and when I first started out, I had it just beaten into my head that someday I was going to retire and that was important and that I needed to start saving money. One of the best things that I did when I started working was I really automated that process and I started to put away money into a 401k, which I was lucky enough to have available to me. And over time, I started to squirrel away a nest egg. The seed started to grow in the back of my head. And I said, I've found work that I love. Why should I care about retirement? Why is that important? But right at that time that I was starting to get that feeling of like, oh, what's the big deal? It's not like work today can necessarily be difficult on our bodies if we're working on laptops and phones and Zoom. What's the point? And right as that happened, my sisters and I, we ended up losing our mother to breast cancer. When you watch a parent pass and you see, as a child, you get to see all of those financial elements of their life unravel in real time. You see how expensive the end of life is for someone. You see how expensive care is at hospitals or at hospices. And when you're in the heat of the moment with someone you love, you don't want to make decisions based on money. You want to make decisions based on their comfort and their health. And then for that person, for that parent, which you might be someday, the last thing that you want to be is a burden on your children. And so when I was young and healthy, and still am, I thought of retirement as, I'm going to want to work and I'm going to want to be productive and what's the big deal? I quickly realized that when you start to become old, you have all these incredible costs that will probably be experienced. Even if you're in the best of health, your life will still start to just unspool, as we all naturally do. And so you're going to need to have a lot of money for healthcare. You're going to need to have a lot of money to just enjoy your life on your terms, right? And odds are that you're going to start thinking about your legacy and that you're going to want to have money to set aside for the next generation if you have children. Now, the how is incredibly hard because we're all prisoners of the moment. And it's really, really easy to think about the $5 cup of coffee right now and why I earned it and deserved it because I got up early and I went on the treadmill, and I'm gonna come up with my own mental gymnastics to help justify why I need to buy a $5 cup of coffee. I don't have to build empathy for Matt rolling right now in 2020 on this Wednesday morning. The goal and the thing that's hard for you and for me is to build empathy for my future self, because that will make me think twice about the cup of coffee and think instead of setting aside the $5 today for 65-year-old Matt so that he's not destitute and poor on the streets and surviving on the government dole to pay for his health care. What do you do next? The math is incredibly simple, and we're going to go through it together in an Excel file. But if your goal at 65 is to have $500,000 set aside, and you start saving at the age of 20, your average monthly amount that you'd have to set aside is about $90. If you want $500,000 when you're 65 and you're starting at my age when you're 40, I have to set aside almost $600 a month to play catch up. When you're young, the single most valuable commodity you have is time. Because of the power of compounding interest, nothing helps build wealth faster than the march of time. And so anything that you can do to automate your life and to set aside whatever amount you can. If it's $90 a month, if it's $10 a month, right? $90 a month is about 20 bucks a week. I don't care who you are. You know, if you're young, you can probably find a way to set aside $20 a week. That's three coffees or 3 beers. And so today, I'm going to show you the math so that you believe me when I tell you that time is your greatest ally in helping you build that constant automated march towards wealth. And I want you to subscribe and comment below, because this is just the start of our conversation. Today is the why and the how, and over time I'm going to give you even more tools to help you make sure that you are mentally and financially prepared for your retirement.